Okay, let's start for this exercise. So I am going to create this new file. Again, I don't want you to lose your files, and it happened probably not with your section, but with some other sections. They had some problems with the access, mainly access, because with the access they forgot where they saved, and when they forgot where they saved, they had 0, unless with one of the cases we found like the database still on the computer, which was something extraordinary, knowing the fact that we always delete all the files after that. So be very careful at this step. When you open your access and then you select your name, but first thing, some of you did not even bother about selecting the name. They just go and they don't even select any name. They just click on create right away. So just make sure that you select the name, you type the name as needed, and then make sure you put it where you want it to be. So in your case, you want it to be in drive D. So make sure you select the drive D there. So in my case, I just want it to be here. And then I click create. After I double check that everything is there, I click create. And I don't want you to get 0 just because you did everything except that you did not save it at the right place. Or maybe sometimes you save it at some other place, but then when you realize that it's not in drive D, you try to open it and save as, and sometimes you save something, you save object as, something like that. Something happens, you don't save something right. And because those students who lost their file, I was able to get an access file, but when I opened it, that was an empty access file. So they managed to save something in drive D, but that wasn't the database. So please be careful at this step. Make sure before you click on create, make sure you typed the name right, but more importantly that you have selected the location carefully. Okay, this being said, phones get you absent. I told you that, but you keep using it. That's your decision. So I'm going to create 2 tables. The first one is this one. I'm going to go fast. If I'm too fast, I'm going to go fast because I know that this part you're quite comfortable with it. So, but if I'm too fast, just stop me and then ask a question. I'm going to stop and do it again just to make sure. Yes. It is not on your screen now?
Yes.
Okay, so it doesn't show on the screen. We go here and we create the table in the design view. The code, this is the field name. The type is text, field size 10. So field size 10. And then the validation rule, I'm not going to copy it. You remember the problems with copying that? So please do not copy whatever you have. In the validation rule, this is the only thing that you need to type. Just type it like, and you have SV and like this. So it is going to add for me those double quotes, which I didn't type them, but they were added for me. And then I'm going just to copy this and paste it here. Okay. The source is text 25. I think we did something similar to that one. Seems this table is familiar. The destination, lookup wizard, and I can just do it lookup wizard, or maybe remember I can do it manually. Field size 20. Let's put this 20. I can come back here, double click, and then on the other one you just double click again, just have the value list. And in this I'm going just to put that, but it didn't show up completely because I know it shows up in 2 lines. I'm guessing this is Dubai, and this should be semicolon. I'm just selecting that and putting just semicolons instead of the comma, because on my computer I need to put the semicolons. On your computers, comma is enough. So now, if I would like to test that. If I click on this one, it will ask me, do you want to save? Yes, always save. And what is the name of that table? Oh, it seems to be like this one. There's no primary key. Which one should be my primary key? The code. So I'm going to cancel, go back here and press this as a primary key. Remember what is the rule about the primary key?
Can't type it again.
It doesn't allow repetition of duplicate values. Plus it does something else. It sorts according to that field. It sorts the records according to that field. And by default, it doesn't allow empty values. I mean null values. Okay. So if now I go back here, you want to save yes, and then the name, that's the name. Okay. If I go back in here, I can just see that it is working. Okay. Just one thing, because I made the last minute change, I just forgot to do it here as well. You notice that this New York here that has some sort of a space, and this doesn't. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to change in the lookup and put a space there. So now, if I go back and click yes, I'm going to see that New York has a space between you and York. It's very important to do those changes at the beginning, because later on you might have some more difficulties, some more problems. No. This is just I wanted just to show you how to modify. Okay, we have day. What was that? So okay. So day, which is text 25. Let's go and go for it. Text 25. Then time, date time, short time, date time. So this is I can just type date time, the D, and then it shows me the rest. And in the format, short time, this one. Okay. And fair is currency, 2 decimal places, currency C, and then in the auto I'm going to select 2 decimal places. Okay, and yes, that's working. I need to do something now. So we're done with this one. We'd like to enter the data. Do you notice that last time actually it was noticed by I think, if my memory is not wrong, I think that was Jawad who noticed that the mem is always used here in source. So we might do something even if it's not said, but for us, just to make it simpler for us to enter the data, we can just put the mem to always be displayed as a source, like the default value of the source. The 0? Like default value, yeah. So I'm going to source, and in the default value, I'm going just to paste the mem. So now next time, if I'm trying to always yes, if I'm trying to type something, the mem is already there. Even if you create a form, because this is the best way to enter the records in your table, it is going to show up there. You can always change it, of course, but it is there. So let's get those ones here, London, and notice that I just used the L and it showed me the rest. And I have like 1300 plus 500, and keep going. The mem New York, so the mem New York, the day is 16 and then 20, 800. 16, 20, 00, 800. And then we have this one. Mumbai. Did I select New York there? Can't remember. The day, daily. And if I just want it to be capital, let's just put it capital. And then we said 1230 and 600. 1230 and 600. No, that's 600. And then the other one was 540. Dammam 2, Karachi 22, daily 22, and the price the fare 550. The last one 746, the MAM2 Dubai 19, daily 19, and the price the fare 250. Now we're done entering this. If I go back here, I will see that it's all are there. So that's easier for me. Did you realize that this was sorted now based on the code, and those ones that were in the beginning, they are now at the bottom? So this is for the first one. What about the second one? We're going to be doing the same thing. There's this ID, and this is the table. So let's create another table with the design. I'm going to name it ID, like number, byte, primary key. Number, okay, primary key, and field size. I want it to be byte, so this is byte. Remember what is byte? It's like a small number. It can go up to, I think, 256. From 0 to 256. Then code, which should be something field size 10 SV. I can do something. Let me show you something. Since the code is the same, I can do this, copy, and here paste. It is going to copy all the fields with the field size, the validation rule, and all the others. You see, they're all the same. So enter SV. This is the same thing. So I'm just copying and pasting. P name 25, then citizen, which is lookup wizard. Maybe just what's the size? 20. So let's put like 20 in the size, and then go back here, double click for having the combo box, and then you double click for the value list, and copy and paste for those values. And you just need to change them to semicolon. Press enter. Let's go back here, and then the last one is date, date time, medium date. It tells me, well, you're using this name, but it's not really a good choice because this is like some sort of a reserved word. And I said, okay, I know what I'm doing, but anyways, it doesn't matter that much. But date is like some sort of a function actually. And format medium date, can I type just M? Medium date appears, and that's it. Okay, I need to put the save it. That's it. The primary key is already there. Just close. By closing, it says me, do you want to save? I'm always clicking on save. Yes, and this is the name of the table. Past details, and closing. I'm going to create a form for that. I'll just make sure that I'm selecting the past details with all of them. Next, I might just finish. That will be enough. So now the ID is 1, 2, 3, and SV77. So 1, SV77. The P name is Sheen UK, and then 6 June. Just copying that. You see. Just type it like that. It goes. And then we have like SV746 with John. So 2, John, citizen of USA, and then 14. US. Oh, there's another one. Yep. And then this. Continue. We have this one 3. Sunil, citizen of India, and then 4, this one, Pakistan 615. So it's very convenient when you just copy and paste, but just don't get confused with this fake India, and then India, and then the date 7 June I'm guessing. The change request to the table will not successful because they would create duplicate values. Did I enter the number 5 already? They have number 5, so it's cancel. Go to the past details, and I did not have anyone. So why do I have that? 5 is a problem? No. So what was the problem? Oh, I know. This is the problem with copying and pasting. Yeah, and it would have been very hard because you're not used to that. It would be very hard for you to discover this one. Actually, because when I copied and pasted, there was something that was added in the code. And this is some sort of duplicate values, some sort allow indexed Unicode, allow zero length, indexed required. There's this instance. So why is it? I don't understand. I thought maybe there was something that do not allow me to repeat values in the code, but I don't have such condition in here. It just says it has to be SV and that's it. So do you see any problem?
Try to write it.
Well, we did. Let's try 5, and then you said SV 742. Let's go down. You see, it starts with this SV. Primary key. There's something in.
Yes, teacher.
Yeah, I know, but this is not a primary key. Did you let's have a look back at here. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a primary key, and I think Microsoft Access did something not really clear because we cannot see it here.
You copy code.
Yeah, I copied from there
You talk good from the.
because I copied from here, and this one in there it was a primary key. Well, in this table, if you go to the design view and you see there's something that says yes, indexed, yes, no duplicates. And you can see that actually I don't have this line over there. Yeah, it is. This is the one, indexed, yes, no duplicates. So I'd have the same condition. So I can say yes with duplicates, okay, or no, just like the default one. All the default ones, they indexed, they say no. I can just put as no in this indexed, because this indexed, this is what checks these duplicates. So now if I go back and close, save, oh yes, I want to save, go back to here and to my number 5, just go to create a new one, number 5, SV742, and of course it's going to show me the name later on, Big India, and then inshallah it is going to work.
Teacher,
Yes.
does it make a difference when we have the capital in the small letter?
No, no,
Letters?
no, no. So Khalid, UK, and so we're done with all these records entered. Now the thing is, we'd like to create the relationship. Okay, remind me how to do that.
Database tools from
Database tools, relationships. I select them both.
and choose the common one.
No, before I no.
Yes.
Add
Both.
Those.
both.
Yeah.
No.
But both, actually, the both, it shows both of queries and tables, because I don't have any queries. That's why in both I don't only see the tables. But basically here I just would like to make the relationships with the tables. So I'm going just to select those two and then click add and close. So now that I have those two,
Between what code?
Take code.
so let's go back and see between what and what. Well, basically it's the code that is going to be the relationship between the two.
From the left to the right.
Actually, not always from the left to the right, because if I put this one here, it's going to be from the right to the left in this case.
But he said in the
Create a relationship between two tables as shown below.
Flight details to the
Yeah, but let me give you an advice. Whenever you have these type of things, this is the code of what?
code of the flight.
Code of the flights.
Yeah.
So, like this is the code of flight. Every flight has one unique code, right? That's why we set this as a primary key.
Yeah.
So this is the main table for the codes. That's why it's a primary key. And this is like the source table, the primary table for the relationship. And this one is the related table, which one relates to my other ones. That's why here the related table is the other one, this past details. But the primary table, the initial table, this is the flight FLT, the flight details. By the way, now this code over here, when we enforce the referential integrity and we create it, this code over here has a name. It is called foreign key, this one. So this code over here in the other table is called the foreign key. This is called the primary key. We learned that there's a primary key. A foreign key, this is like a field which is a key in another table, and it is related to that one with a relationship like this. Anyways, this is just a name. Probably you're going to never use it unless you go on the computer science department later on, and then you're going to work on databases. Then you're going to talk about those foreign keys. So this is the relationship. If I'd like to modify it, what should I do? Yeah, enjoy. So if you'd like to modify it, what should it be? How to modify this one? Right click and then edit relationship, because if I right click here, I can't. Right click and relationship. If I'd like to delete it as well, I can delete it. If for whatever reason, for example, I'm going to delete it, let's say, if for whatever reason I just made a mistake, I just took the wrong ones, I always in this window can correct the fields. The only thing that I cannot correct is from where I started and where I went. So the related table, for example, if I made a mistake and I started from here to there, so you see the table of fleet details shows up as still, even if I made the mistake. Did you realize that? I just realized it. I chose from past details to flight details, and look what happened though. Well, now it's I don't know. I thought maybe Microsoft was smart, but I guess I was a bit wrong. I stick to what you know. So this one over here, enforce referential integrity. If I don't check it, if I just create that, well, I'm not going to create that because I don't want the primary key to be the past details. So I'm going to select it from here to there, and let's say like this is the flight details, which is the primary key, and the related one is the past details. If I don't click on this one, I click on create, I have a relationship, but this relationship does not do the checking. You remember when I want to do some checking, which means that any value that I'm entering in this code over here, it has to be already entered here. So I don't think you remember what I'm talking about, so let me show you something. I go back to past details. Okay, I'm going to create a new passenger detail for 7 with the code is SV111, and the name is, let's say, Muhammad, and citizenship of, don't have many choices, whatever, Pakistan, let's say, and the date today. Is it okay? Yes, go, continue, and then I have something which is really weird in my database right now. Let's have a look at the table past details. I have a passenger that is going on a flight that doesn't exist, which is creating some problems in terms of the integrity of the data. The information inside my database is compromised. I have some broken relationship. I have a passenger that is going on a flight that doesn't exist. because I do not have flight SV111. So yeah, if I need to have SV111, I need first to create it, and then I can create a passenger that will go to it. But I don't have that, so this relationship should check that. But the relationship do not check that unless I edit the relationship and I enforce the referential integrity. Now if I do this, I click on OK, the database could not be locked because actually it is opened over here. I'm just going to cancel, close this one, and then try again. Enforce referential integrity, yes. Now I can see that these numbers 1 and infinity, it shows like there's some sort of referential integrity. This is the visual way to see it. Now let's try to do the same. Let's go back here and try to include our SV111 with Muhammad and Pakistan and today. If I try, so it will not allow me, and this is good because it is telling me, excuse me, you cannot, the changes you requested to the table were not successful because they would create duplicate values in the index, primary key, or relationship. And actually this message is really not really clear, because basically what it says is not really what it means. It says that this SV111 doesn't exist in the other table, which is this flight detail. If I open the flight detail, I cannot find any one of there. So I cannot go past here and create a new one unless I go here and say, okay, I have a flight SV111 going from here to whatever, and on, let's say I'm going just to copy and paste something. And even though I don't have to fill all of it because these are not always all required, but let's make something that makes sense. For example, now I have the SV111. If I go back and try to save it, well, it should. Oh yeah, actually, you know what? I was not really. I was blaming Microsoft, but actually I was doing the mistake. Well, let's give this time Microsoft was not the problem. I made a problem and did not realize as well that I am trying to duplicate. It was telling me there was a duplicate value, and I was saying no, you didn't, just saying something wrong, and I'm the stupid now because I didn't realize that I was doing the mistake. So let's say put it back to 7 because I do not have any. Did I try 7? Do I have 7? No, I just deleted it. So 7 is available as an ID. So I can use ID 7. I remember I just deleted this SV111 just to see the right message this time, and we are not going to blame Microsoft this time. So it seems like it is giving us a right message, telling us that you cannot add or change a record because a related record is required in table flight details. The related record is the record where this SV111 exists, and that's true. That's why now if I go back here and add this SV111 with whatever information, I'm not going to add all others. As long as I have that, that's fine. Now if I go back and try to enforce that, everything goes smoothly, because if I go back here, I have SV111, I can find it there. So this is the main idea behind this relationship. It just adds more conditions and gives me more verification that will allow me to keep my database, the data inside of it, I mean, which is coherent, which makes sense. Okay, any questions from here? All right, so let's continue. Now the last part, which is probably the one that creates. Do we need to save? Well, yes. I mean, the save here does not save the relationship itself. It just, as it says, saves the layout. But it always save. Always, the layout is how it appears. I mean, if I just move it here, I'm closing to tell me, do you want to save? Yeah, I want to save. This is how it looks. Yeah. Okay, and now the best part, and the most interesting part, is the part with the reports, and this is where it becomes interesting, and Omar can still enjoy whatever it's doing. Okay, so we'd like to have a report, but this time this is something interesting. I have a report from the flight details and the pass details. I mean, from two tables. So I'm just giving the same example, but with some small differences. Include only the fields listed below. So these are the fields, code, and let's go here first, create, and then report wizard. I just would like to have code from where I can choose it from any table, because actually both of them are related, are linked together, so any one will do. So I'm choosing code, pname, citizen, and then source. Well, source is obviously not in pass details, so I need to select the other table and select the source. Yes, we do. We can combine more than one table. Destination, date. I don't have date here, so let's go back there and put the date. And then I have the time and fare, which comes from the other one, time and fare. Okay, next. This is going to be interesting. Well, I would like to group the records based on the citizen. And can we do that? Oops, can I close? Now that we have some information that comes from two tables, you see I don't have a lot of different options. And it shows me, do you want to view your data by flight details or by passenger detail? That means for a flight, I'm going to see the passenger or there. So, well, basically the question says, it says citizen, but so let's say I'm going to use this way. Let's just assume that, because I have no other choice to select only the citizen. I mean, this is not a very good example. This is not something that you're going to see in the quiz. Definitely not from two tables. Yeah, I just realized that when I'm doing this, and I didn't want to go into that. So what I'm going to be doing actually, I'm going to change this. To change it, how? I'm not going to use from two tables. So I'm just going to use from just one table. And since we would like to group according to the citizen, let's choose this. Okay. So let's make this. We change the exercise to, instead of all these fields, only the ones that we'd like to have. So do we want code? No. We want it to be citizen. And next, sorted. Well, do we need to sort it according to code? Do we have code in there? Yes. So let's sort them according to the code, ascending. Next, do we have some? We have some summary, but the summary is not going to help us because we do not have any. We said summary of calculation for the sum average of fare, but we don't have fare anymore. So, anyways, save the report with the name Saudi data. Stepped, is it something that says what is the type? Okay, so we're free. And let's next. And I never talk about it, but you can also choose the orientation, obviously, of your report. Yeah, exactly. Because you remember, reports are mainly for printing. So I can preview the report and just go straight to modify the report, because if I preview the report, it is going to show me how it is going to be printed, and I can go straight to the design view if I wanted to. And it doesn't look good. As you can see, the date is a bit smaller, it takes a smaller size. So I'm going to go the layout view just to be able to resize them to something that makes sense. I don't know why it took more. It took more, probably because this is now we can blame Microsoft, because actually it is not our fault that we selected first orient portrait, and then I think we changed it back from what was that? Well, I can just delete this and start, or maybe just do it myself manually. Which old versions? This is not the old version. 2013. Yeah, 2013. Yeah. Well, this is actually, because the book that we had is 2010, so we did not want to upgrade. I think next year they are going to all change this to 2013. Yeah. That's why we kept that. So I'm going just to okay. Let's just to avoid doing a lot of adjustment. I'm going to delete this, create the report. We said just from passenger, all of them. Next, it puts code. I don't want the code. Citizen, but code makes more sense, you know, because with the same code you can see all passengers. This is why actually it was selected by default, because also this code, if you remember, this is a primary key in the other table, so it's a foreign key. That's why it makes more sense to have that. I mean, so yeah, I'm using only one table, but instead of citizen, I mean the way it appears will matter. So now, for example, if I choose code, what would happen is that it is going to show me. I cannot go back. Let's cancel. It is going to show me all the flights that are the same. Like for example, this 742. They have the same. This is the same flight. I'm going to see all the passengers of that flight. If I select now citizen, then I'm going to see all the citizens. For example, I have like UK and UK. I have like these two guys are going to be grouped according to their citizenship. Yes, which is yeah, that's normal because we want just this to not repeat. In one flight, we might have more than one passenger. So that's why actually it makes more sense of in the same code we can have more than one people. Actually, in this case, we have only two, just because we don't want you to type a lot. But you'd never see a flight with only two unless you're flying a helicopter. Even though you might need more. So anyway, anyhow, let's go back here and continue our tentative. I mean, our imaginative new exercise. So we said we're going to select them all for the past details. Let's try it with code because it will make more sense. Citizens, we can try it as well with citizens.
How can we do the correct sum of the average?
Well, in this table, we don't have something that we calculate. Because what can you calculate?
How will you do it if you,
I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it, inshallah. I'm going to show. Just let's finish this, and then I'm going to show you the other one with a table with the flights, and then we can do those calculations. So you see, when I changed this landscape as an orientation, it just messed up the layout. So I'm not going to click here. Just click on finish, and now hopefully everything looks good. I'm not going more than on one page. So let's go back here. So you can see it's still at the side. I mean, at the one page. It takes more. I'm going just to shorten this one and give more space to that. So now you can see that I have like those codes, and in the same code I might have like two or more. I might have like only two. In this case, I have that. So that's basically what I would like you to be able to do. Is to have that. Be able to select the grouping for the quiz. This is what I'd like you to be doing: to select the grouping and the So I said I just would like you to be able to successfully select the. Let's say now I'm going to do this for the flight details. To group them according to something, and let's say for example I'm going to group them according to, let's say, destination, whatever, and be able to do this grouping. That's one thing. The second thing is to select, if I'm telling you to sort it somehow, just to sort it according to something. Let's say I'm going to sort it according to code or whatever, day, or maybe fare. And then the summary options, this is your question. How can I make the calculations? And this is your question. Yes, and this is how you will not pay attention. So look, this is where you do that. This is summary options if you'd like to do any calculation. The easiest way to do it is through this. You can always have some sort of calculations in the design view, but let's say for example I would like to have like the sum and average of the fare. So let's have that. Click on OK and then finish. let's adjust that to make it easily readable. So I'm going to modify this, and the same thing for this. So I'm going to use the control key to select more than one, so I can
From layout.
put that there. Yeah, from the layout, it allows me to change this and see the result right away. I can always do that in the design view and change the size of anything, but I cannot see the result if it is enough or not. Maybe this is not enough, so I cannot see the result right away. This is the really main advantage that I can see from this layout view. So you can just make the changes, and it will show you those changes, how they end up quite quickly. So you can see now this is the sum of average that shows. For the cases when I have only one flight, it doesn't give me a lot of information. And this is the summary for London when I have like 2 records, which makes more sense in this case. The sum is 500. This is showing 0 because I made a mistake. I'm going to close this one, save yes. When I entered probably this one over here, no, there, I didn't put any information about the day, and let's say daily, just to keep the same thing. The time, let's put some time, and let's put some prices. 800 you want? Okay, let's keep to be consistent. Okay, 800. So now if I go back to this, was it flight details, I think? If I go back to here, if I can see now the destination London, it has this like, this is the sum, and this is the average. As I said, I can always go to the design view. I can see this is the formulas that I'm using. Destination footer, this is destination header, because I'm grouping according to destination. I can do also this sorting, changing that. If you notice, I just click on this one, sorting and grouping. I can do it from here. Just click on here. I can do some changes if I want. I don't want it to be grouped from destination, but I want to change to something else. I can do it from here. But it might require some adjustments, which is much easier to do with the wizard. That's why if you made a mistake, it's most of the time take you less time to delete the report and do it again with the wizard than trying to fix it in the design view. Did I miss anything? Did I forget something? Is that okay? So I'm going to adjust